Entrepreneurial success is not just about having a good product. It's not just enough about having a good service. Entrepreneurial success is about how you and I make decisions. Let me read you something that I think you'll find interesting. So listen very closely. This is a news article that I read. The article says, the world is too big for us. Too much going on, too much violence and excitement. Try as you might, you get caught up in the race. Science empties its discoveries on you so fast that you stagger beneath them. The political world is news so rapid that you're out of breath trying to keep up with what's going on, who's in and who's out. Everything is high pressure. Human nature cannot endure anything more. The interesting thing about this article is that it was published in the Atlantic Journal, June 16th, 1833. 1833, not yesterday. This whole thing about change is troublesome. And Jason asked me if I would focus most of my comments around change as it opposes small businesses. I would start off by saying that every day and in every situation, you will find challenges. It is the nature of the beast. You have got to be involved in order to deal with it. And as you get involved, you have change. Today in our society, because of our technology, because of our advancements, the world seems a bit smaller. Yet the pace and the rapid challenges of change make the world feel too big for us. So not surprisingly, all of us deal with that a little bit differently. Some of us look at change and we're fearful of it. We're fearful because it seems threatening and we don't know what we're going to do and how it's going to turn out. There are other people who, in dealing with change, are just a little bit curious about it, but they're encouraged. And they're encouraged because they feel that things may get better. Some way, somehow, maybe they will. But to the confident people find change to be a stimulus because they see the opportunity. They want to engage change because it'll make a difference in their business. There's a wonderful Christian writer that I admire. His name is Chuck Swindoll. And he wrote something that was very simple. He said, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you deal with it, right? And you've heard that sage advice some other way. Things turn out best for people who make the best of the way things turn out, right? The choices that you and I make during times of change can have a terrific, tremendous impact on us, depending on how we make those decisions. I'll start off by telling you that some years ago, there was a man who lived by the side of the road, and he sold hot dogs. And he'd just stand by the side of the road, and he'd say, "Hey, mister, buy a hot dog?" And people would come from all around. It was fantastic. He knew how to make the right mixes. He bought the right hot dogs. Business was good. So good that he increased his meat order. He increased his bun order. And business was booming. He had to get a larger stove. It was fantastic. Buy a hot dog? Yes, sir, right here. Had a hot dog. So then what happens is his son comes home from college. And things change in this case. In this case, his son says, "Dad, don't you know? Haven't you been paying attention?" He says, "The situation overseas is terrible. And right here in the United States, things are bad." So the old man thinks to himself, well, gee whiz, my son's gone to college. I know my eyes are bad and I don't read, and I don't watch TV very much. I don't read the newspaper. But he says things are terrible. So he stops putting his sign out. He stops ordering as much for his buns and hot dogs, and business drops off. And finally, the day comes, he looks at his son, he says, "Boy, we're really having a tough time, aren't we?" You know, you just have got to wonder if there aren't people like that every day who have a situation, and because of their outlook, because of the way they perceive things, they're doing just fine. All they have to do is stay the course. But they'll take other information that doesn't apply to them, and they'll think, boy, I've got to change how I'm doing because of that. And in truth, they don't. Time and time again, change, choices, and consequences remind you and me that entrepreneurial success is not just about having a good product. It's not just enough about having a good service. Entrepreneurial success is about how you and I make decisions, whether or not we make decisions well. And if that man who sold hot dogs had not taken down his sign and had kept doing business, who knows, he may have grown from a shack by the side of the road to a drive-through, and may even be one of those popular franchises across the nation today. All because of a decision that he made that was ill-based. Success is not about accepting change by itself. There are three things. First of all, accepting change is important, but making good decisions and good choices are equally as important. And last, it's learning from the consequences. Now, right now, this is all abstract information you're hearing. How does it all connect together? I'll give you that in just a second. But the point here is that change is important. It is the way of the world. And you have got to be involved in it and understand it and decide what the mechanism and impact is on you and your business. If you're writing a strategic plan or you have a business plan, change needs to be one of the considerations. Look at what happened when the pandemic occurred. And whatever the lessons were for you, and those lessons were for me in running a business, if we have another one, we're going to approach that a little bit differently, aren't we? Because we've been through that experience.